I'll call the meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. on March 23rd. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ernesto Mora.
Alex Ardosia.
Eric Sahakian.
William Mays. Do we have any public comments?
We do not have any on the time.
Okay, let's go over the LOLC phone lines.
So I combined the three companies that came out to give us estimates for the phones, for the little owls. The first one is Abix. There's no upfront cost, free hardware, cloud-based system, on server required. Basically, you don't have to, it's like a mobile desk app available on the updates. Maintenance could handle it, a vendor or in-house tech. The cons, free phones within the 3-year contract, potential down if the internet is not, if there's no internet, we have no phones.
Okay.
AirSpring, we get free hardware, cloud-based, easy to be working on. Any staff member is able to work it, even IT. We have higher risk fees though, potential downtime if the internet's not down. Verizon, basically you get the phone, it's like a cellular, LTE, so during the network's outages, we don't have to worry about it. It's a month-to-month, no contract required. Signal requires, depends on the extensional cellular service for Verizon. So basically, it will not work if Verizon's down.
Right.
But other than that, that's a good company to go with. If you jump to the next page.
So at Verizon, we know that, I'm sure people have Verizon phones, it's good signal runner.
It's the best phone we have out there. ABEX, $17.97 per line with a 3-year contract. For 10 phones, it would be $179 with 70 cents. Within 3 years, it would be $6,469 with 20 cents. Where AirSpring is $25 per line with a 3-year contract, $250 with $9,000 per year. With Verizon, $26 per line, month to month, no contract, $260 for 10 phones, $9,360 for 3 years. Basically, the best one would be Verizon, because it's not a contract to contract. But basically, it's use it without contracts. You don't have to worry about it. You could add phones. You could take off phones. That would be the best option for us to go with. Would be Verizon.
And then between Ernesto and Alex, can you kind of describe, what the need is? Essentially, it's just kind of anybody plays this back, just what the why is.
Yeah. So basically, the reason we need it is because right now our kids out there don't have any way of, the classrooms do not have any phones.
Right.
So we cannot get a hold of them, or they cannot get a hold of somebody in case of an emergency.
Right.
That's the reason it's really important to put these phones inside those classrooms.
So is it just a standard cell phone, or is it for like the Verizon?
It's an actual phone.
Okay,
Just
a cell.
For Verizon, you mean for Verizon?
Verizon.
Well, they're all desktop phones.
Okay.
So the only difference is the service that they provide. So the first two is like a hosted service.
Right.
It goes through fiber, it goes through our network.
Right.
The Verizon one it works just like a cell phone, like an LTE, but the actual device is a desktop phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're able to add or delete phones without any issues.
And then the 10 phones, are they all for classrooms, or are there any for the district office?
They're only for classrooms and for some common areas, in case of emergency, like the NPR and the cafeteria. So we do add those in there.
Yeah, those are the most important ones. Right now, we don't have any.
Right.
Our phones are working good. The most important thing is to keep our kids to get in contact with them.
And then you say Verizon, as far as the as far as the district's recommendation, Verizon, Just like to hear from both of you.
Yes,
the why.
Verizon will be the best choice for the district. We currently have a district account, an education account, with them, and it's super easy to get the phones, through the system already with them. We're not gonna have any downtime, when we have the internet outage or anything else, or even power outage, we're not gonna have any
So-
issues with that.
So it's a plug in with battery bank.
Yes, and another thing is that there's no commitment on it. The rest of the companies, they do provide free hardware, but you have to sign a 3-year contract. But this one is month to month, just like the cell phone services that we get right now with the Verizon. It will just add on to the existing account that we have already.
In case we need to change or what have you,
That's
we're not
correct.
bound to the
Yeah,
contract.
and once again, we can add more, or we can delete it. Let's say that we don't need 2 classrooms or something like that. They're flexible with that.
Was there any other cell companies like T-Mobile that does the same thing?
No, and the only reason that we didn't put more of that is because district already currently have a
Right.
district account
With Verizon.
with Verizon, and we get
Discount?
the discount, yes, sir.
So that's, this is a discounted rate?
They mentioned to us that they can be another discount if we move forward with them.
Yeah,
So,
let's see, whatever
the final.
you guys want to bring
This
it
is
to
the
the
normal
board,
price.
but,
So we
but if we
budget-
can, before you bring it to the board,
We'll deal with
see if we can get, cause I'd like to see it at least down below the air spring, so it's mid-grade instead of
The highest.
the highest.
It's understandable, for sure.
And I would share maybe some of these numbers with them and just say, hey, this is where we're at, we want to use you, but
Yes,
they'll
Mhm.
probably work with you.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we did the due diligence of getting additional quotes. I would
Yes.
just share that, let them, try to be competitive.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I mean, they're usually pretty, especially with a corporate account, they're gonna wanna keep it, so they're gonna do what they can.
Of course.
I'm very positive that we will get a better discount.
Yeah.
Once we decide to
I would.
move forward.
That was just a preliminary cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was cost,
Good. Thank you for doing it. Next, let's do the iLead Draft Lease Agreement.
Thank you. So at the last subcommittee meeting, we had suggestions for the draft lease agreement for the next iteration between iLead and AADUSD. All of those recommendations, suggestions were provided to our attorney, Mr. Eric Stevens, who supports us with the charter types of questions and so forth, so on. And then he provided some of the feedback as well, because he is the liaison between iLead as well as the district office. And many of the components are enveloped between parameters of the California Proposition 39. And then just very briefly, I want to go ahead and just share that so we have some kind of grounding in what Prop 39 is, and then we'll go into some of the comments that were provided back by Mr. Stevens as well. So again, Prop 39 is a California law since 2000 regarding charter schools and the use of facilities owned by school districts. So the Agua Dulce site, of course, owned by AADUSD. What the district must provide through Prop 39, district must provide reasonably equivalent to what district students receive as far as facilities, which usually is the classroom, access to bathrooms, office space, playgrounds, library, and of course, for lunch support, cafeteria. Does not mean brand new space. It just means comparable space, equivalent to district schools. How the process works, every year there's a timeline. November 1st, this is give or take timeline. Charter school tells the district how many students it expects for the next school year and the space required. February 1st, district makes a preliminary offer for space. April 1st, district makes a final offer. So we're getting close to that timeline for April with the next subcommittee. And at that point, sometime in April, the charter decides whether or not they want to accept the offer. Who pays for the space? Charter schools pay a facilities use fee. called Proposition 39 facilities fee, as well as a fee typically covers maintenance, utilities, operational costs. Why all of this matters? Why it matters? Districts worry about losing classrooms, campus overcrowding, right? We have increased enrollment, let alone development that might come 2-3 years down the road. And then managing shared campuses, if that is a scenario of a shared campus. There are some districts that have their own students that are enrolled in a district as well as a charter school on one main campus. That happens. Charters argue that they need fair access to public facilities and equal treatment as public schools. So that's kind of those are the parameters of Prop 39. So with Prop 39, Mr. Stevens came back. We had some amendments that were requested from the first draft iteration. The amendments are there listed in bold. And that's what Mr. Stevens was working with. So the First Amendment requests, in place of a 6-year lease agreement, revise the term to a 12-month lease with options for renewal extensions. A 12-month lease. And again, the one that is in a lighter font is the response from Mr. Stevens as far as recommendation. A 12-month lease term creates operational financial instability that's inconsistent with operating a public charter school. Again, they're looking for stability over time. As Prop 39, eligible public schools serving district students, facility stability should reflect intent of the education code that's referenced there, to provide fair, reasonable access to public school facilities. Speaking with Mr. Stevens back and forth, we kind of landed towards, at least providing a 2-year option versus a 12 month.
I would say no more than 2 years.
So 2 years with
option to renew. But basically, this is saying for Prop 39, November charter school districts, they tell you how many students, the district makes your preliminary space, whatever, and then the charter makes a decision. So based on Prop 39, it's every year. Is what I'm reading.
There's a timeline. This will be more for a charter school that's coming in for the first go around.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I think based on, like you said, new housing stuff going on, if we need that campus back, we don't want to be tied up in a long term. So yeah, 2 years with the option to renew.
So the second amendment that came from the February subcommittee, maintenance and operations should convert to a cost recovery model. District would continue to provide the maintenance and services outlined in section 3 of the draft iteration of the proposal, with iLead reimbursing AAD/USD for actual costs. Mr. Stevens does not believe a cost recovery model is workable in practice. Essentially, Mr. Stevens is recommending reverting back to what the model was with the first lease agreement. Since, in terms of some of the elements that they actually work with in terms of their custodial maintenance team, they know the day-to-day operations, they handle that, they know their vendors. And then when it comes to certain items that were outlined within the draft MOU for AAD/USD to pick up. So that was their recommendation to revert back to the previous approach.
As long as they're maintaining and handling it. I mean, it's your schools. You're the one in charge of it. What do you think?
It's true. As long as we're, I'm still gonna do my annual inspections and go there.
I think it's need more than annual. And I think.
Oh yeah, no, I go there
Yeah.
most, but basically once a year
Once a year,
I go
yeah,
and do an actual.
Yeah.
The formal.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to be a time period of when things get repaired. So if something breaks, you have so many days, to repair it, or we're going to come and repair it. What do you think of that?
Putting some kind of timeline in place.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that we with the first draft iteration we indicated a timeline. but we could go ahead and put something in there, we could refer back to Mr. Stevens,
Right.
legal counsel, say, you know, what is fair and appropriate as far as timeline.
Right. That way they're held accountable to do the maintenance they need to.
Next section, there was a discussion of adding language under section 4, include a requirement for a 24-hour fire watch during any period when the fire alarm repairs are being completed. Per iLead, back to Mr. Stevens, they are fully committed to maintaining compliance with all fire and life safety requirements, and they cite California Fire Code. 24-hour watch is typically required only if directed by a local fire marshal during a system impairment.
No, not true.
So what we'll do is we'll go back to Mr. Stevens to go ahead and get clarity regarding the California Fire Code.
Yeah,
As it
if
pertains to this
the
section.
fire alert system is down, it's required to have a fire watch, especially when there's people there.
Especially when.
And when you're in a higher fire zone area, that's not a negotiable.
So I'll take that back to Mr. Stevens. Turn the page over. It was recommended an addition addendum. iLead purchased its own lunch tables, umbrellas for shade protection. These items are iLead's property and not LOLC. So non-issue there. Clarifying ownership protects both the district as well as iLead. The next section, amendment, the projected lease payment from iLead for the current fiscal year is approximately $430,000. That was a discussion that we had at the February meeting. It was suggested on our behalf that the lease parameters be decoupled from the LCFF, and instead at the 430 annual year-to-year increase of 3%. Now, if you kind of go down, of course, there's a narrative there in terms of Mr. Stevens' recommendation. But if you go down to the scenarios, what's recommended would be, per their proposal, initial proposal draft, was the 8% LCFF offer at $328,000 annually. They're coming back at that for it to be fair and equitable. Now, my suggestion would be, start at the 8% LCFF offer of $328,000, and then go back to the table regarding the incremental increases year to year. At least for the 2 years, so we're going back to 2 years.
Whatever the negotiators and parameters require, I think that's where we should go.
So we'll take that back to Mr. Stevens. All right, those were the addendum requests and amendment requests that we had from the February meeting. So just to kind of recap, for the amendment, going back to the first request, 6-year lease agreement, the recommendation from the subcommittee currently is 2 years with an option of renewal. The next amendment really falls within maintenance and operations. The previous approach we're fine with, but including a timeline for repairs, maintenance, etc. We'll take that back to Mr. Stevens. Addendum regarding the 24-hour fire watch. We'll ask Mr. Stevens to check on the language pertaining to California Fire Code, just for clarity. No questions about the lunch tables and umbrellas that they purchased. And then the last item for amendment request on behalf of the district, falling back to the 8% LCFF, $320,000 annually, adding back 3% incremental increase for the 2 years that we're requesting. That's what we have.
All right.
Thanks for joining, Michelle.
I apologize, I came from a prior meeting.
No worries. Thanks for being here. All right. Thank you.
So, all right, and then next, let's go to the bus leasing option. Sorry, it was not fair. I couldn't get out of work.
It's okay.
Thank you for setting up the bus
Rita.
stop.
I was. Poor thing, you sound congested.
Yeah.
Do you need a tissue?
Yeah, please.
I will go find you one.
Thank you,
I
yes,
don't see
my
any.
allergies are killing me.
Yeah.
So the first image you're gonna see right there is gonna be the model of the bus that we're looking into leasing. 2024 IC bus.
Okay.
Second picture, you're gonna see Acton-Agua Dulce's staff and students and board members that attended the bus tour.
There's Mr. Masconche.
I was gonna say, Buster fit on it, we're good. Sparks and Savvy. Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. I had to go and search.
Thanks, Commissioner.
So the first document you're gonna see in front of you, the analysis savings for a 3-year contract savings. First one is gonna give you the annual cost, basically from the current buses to leases, annual, the breakdown from the lease of the buses, the maintenance, fuel, insurance, registration, towing, the charter buses when buses are not available, the mechanic salary, unexpected repairs. For the current bus that we own right now, it's $576,093.39. With the leasing option, it's $346,000.05, with an annual savings of $230,088.39. Within 3 years, with the current bus, it's $1,728,280.17. With the leasing cost, it would be $1,038,015. With the annual savings, it's $690,265.17. With the ROI of $687,000 for the total of 3 years with 17 cents, with an annual average savings of $229,288.39, with a ROI percentage of 66.27%. The benefits of leasing: reduce unexpected mechanical failures, warranty protection on major compliant repairs 3 years, bumper to bumper, 5-year engine and transmission, lower repair and maintenance expenses, improved transportation reliability. Basically, with the 3 years, we're going to be saving a lot more than what we're spending right now so far. That's the better option of leasing.
Yeah.
If you jump to the second page, I also have a 5-year. For the 5-year, it's got the same breakdown. Right now, with the current buses, we're spending $463,703.39. With the leasing option, it's $314,573. We have an annual savings of $149,130.39. With the 5-year cost, we're saving, the annual savings is $745,651.95. Annual savings.
That's for the whole year, sorry Ernesto to interrupt you, that's for the 5-year term or for 1 year?
That's for the 5-year.
For the 5-year term.
Full 5.
5-year term. Yes, so basically, the current cost, it would be $2,318.16 With the leasing option, it would be $1,572.65. Total savings within the 5 years, $745,651.95. with the annual savings of $149.39 with an ROI of 47.1%.
Go do it, right?
So the district, we're a lot better
Yeah,
leasing.
and does that include, not having to hire another mechanic and?
Yes, I included on there. Yep,
Okay.
right now, if we have the two
Another
mechanics,
cost
it's
savings.
$112,390. If we keep one mechanic, it's only $56,195.
Right, yeah.
It's almost like 3 buses of savings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So our recommendation would be leasing a bus. We had, staff members that came out, they did have some comments and concerns.
Right,
Basically, it was the space in between the seats,
right,
and also, for long field trips, we would probably have to use a van to go behind the bus.
for equipment,
Yes.
So there was questions about, limitation of storage and then the spacing between the seats.
So-
If you have a high school student,
Right.
it was gonna be a narrow fit.
We would have to.
do we have any enclosed trailers? I mean, cause like the truck that you drive, if you have an enclosed trailer behind a pickup truck with
At
football.
this time, we
fields,
don't have an enclosed.
but I mean, it
trailer.
might be something,
A lot of the athletics,
Yeah, most of
departments,
them.
they use those. In my
Yeah.
daughter's school, they have, on a trailer that a parent holds, and they have their logo.
has
It's an
nice
option.
logos, yeah.
He's also looking to see if they could put some storage areas on top, basically where the students are sitting, similar to what you have in the airplanes.
Right.
But it wouldn't have any.
Like overhead,
just
just overhead.
overhead storage, to see if that's something we wanna
Right.
do if we decide.
We were talking that same day in terms of, taking a look at other, companies, other vendors. Because, the one for the tour, is what they have currently, this company, correct? If they were gonna go ahead and make any, modifications to the interior, that was gonna be a special order. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, based on that, I recommend that we kind of branch out
Right.
and take a look at others. Cause we don't wanna put in a special order just to get the seats a little bit further
Right.
spaced
Yeah.
apart. So a little bit of time, just to make sure that we land on the most appropriate bus as
And
far
I
as
also got a
configuration.
hold of, it's called Bus West Company. He's looking into see if he could get us the regular transportation buses, like the ones we
Transit
had out there,
buses.
see how much they would be,
The bigger
if
ones?
they're still available. I already got a hold of him the same day. Christina and I got a hold of him and
Mm.
made some phone calls. I'm waiting for his response.
Cause if we have transit buses with that storage underneath, it solves all the problems.
Yeah.
I think it
storage
would-
is significant.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I was just looking at, like, if you look at outdoor science school or
Mhm.
like a lot of the trips, all the sports teams with their bags and gear and everything
It's a
else.
lot.
Like, it ends up being a lot, and then if you have a van, like, you have to factor in gas and another employee to drive that van.
It's another cost added. So whatever you find, Mr. Mora, as far as other options, so that again, kind of making the best decision moving forward, so we could kind of entertain that here as subcommittee, that would be great.
I'll let you know as soon as I get information from the other company.
Yeah, cause the guy didn't say that they don't make transit buses, he just didn't have any.
Cause I see those new ones all over the place. Like
Mhm.
LAUSD has a ton of new transit buses, so they gotta be around somewhere.
Yep.
That's right.
We'll find them.
And the compartment is even smaller than the new bus that we just bought.
Mhm.
This new bus doesn't have any complaint.
The new one that we bought is just small. It
Oh,
has
you're
like
talking
a-
about the size itself, yeah.
Uh-huh, but the size of it, the one he bought is even smaller than the one we just bought, like our newest bus.
Mhm.
Can
The
you
size
adjust
of
the
it.
configuration of the buses, just like when you get a car or something like that?
Yeah.
So they can delete
It's
2
cons-
rows to space
yeah.
out, more the leg room, right?
You just have to do it before CHP
Before.
looks at it, cause
They
Okay.
certify, before they certify the bus.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that would be a special order then.
yes.
So that, yeah. that would cost-
And special order once
know.
more and then longer time, right?
Mhm.
Maybe
The
if I-
timeline too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course. More to come.
Ernesto.
Yes, very nice.
Welcome.
Again, sorry I wasn't there to look at the bus. Now let's do the High Desert Roofing Project.
Yes. Basically, the 2 pages that you have in front of you are the first one's gonna be exactly what I have in the presentation. I'm just gonna read it out. The other one's got pictures. Alright, so the project for, the roof repair for the girls' locker room. For the repair itself, K&K Construction wants $24,593 with a 1-year warranty. Total Roofing wants $32,254 for a 1-year warranty. K&K came in $7,661 lower than Total Roofing. Option number 2 would be replacing the metal. Total Roofing is $41,714 with a 10-year warranty. K&K Construction wants $56,841 with a 20-year warranty coverage. K&K came in $15,127 less than Total Roofing. But basically, my recommendation would be basically replacing it,
Yes.
the whole thing, and basically getting Total Roofing to do it. Even though it's a 10-year warranty, we shouldn't have an issue.
But
Mm-hmm.
look at this 10 years covers labors and materials. The 20-year only covers materials,
Yep.
no labor.
Yep.
So that's where they're gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
And Total, I would talk to Total, he might be able to up that a little bit.
Okay. Yep, but yeah, basically it comes in cheaper than Total Roofing.
Mhm.
That would be my recommendation, replacing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Our
And better
district
to replace
recommendation.
than keep what we
Yep.
have existing,
Yeah,
or do
for
a
sure.
partial replacement.
No, cause it's gonna fail.
Even though the color may not match 100% because they don't make that anymore, but they're gonna try and match it as close as possible.
And with a 1-year warranty, it's gonna fail in 13 months and then.
That's how it usually
But
goes.
it's everything, Ernesto,
It's the gross locker room side.
Oh,
It's
only,
not
so
everything,
those
no.
go that-
It's
okay.
not, this is basically, it would be this area right here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Not this one, not that one. It's just a portion of the roof where the gross, that's the issue that we're having right now. It's only one area.
Right.
The rest of the roof is,
So nice
Nothing
picture,
wrong
because
with
you
it.
can see it,
yep.
you know.
Any
Your
questions?
preference?
Well, I think it's better, I don't think it's better to have to do it. And I feel like if they take just the top off and then
Yeah.
fix the underneath and put the top back on, there's a reason it's failing, so. And I like longer warranties.
Yep.
They are much better.
Like, to get a 10-year warranty, it's like $10,000 more. And you get a total replacement. To me, that's a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
So the second one,
Experts.
it's the roofing project summary. Back last year, around before summer started, we brought up the building 1 and building 2 for the roof repair. The board approved $480,000 per budget. We have a total amount of $284,000 with 54 cents, $54. That's how much the project costs. So basically, there's a remaining balance of $195,846.
And I know at the February subcommittee, there was a discussion, I wanna say if it was Mr. Mascom, maybe you, Mr. Mays, or maybe you, Michelle, in terms of hardscape. You know, with,
Oh,
with
yeah,
that.
redoing.
Yeah, redoing the hardscape. So, you know, Mr. Moore, if you could actually, you know, have time for Ms. Van Ornum to have that discussion,
Mhm.
see what kind of proposals are out there. You know, we're talking about, you know, significant savings as far as what was approved originally to now. If we do move forward with Total Roofing, just kind of have that idea of bringing it forward as a
Mhm.
formal proposal for hardscape for High Desert.
And Ernesto's been awesome. We've been meeting to come up with
Yep.
some kind of, cause High Desert being the oldest site, it needs the most upkeep at this point, but, definitely, there's some cement that needs to be put in. to protect the flooring, because we replaced the flooring, but as long as there's dirt right outside the door, the flooring's getting beat up. So between that, I know the grass area, maybe even cementing underneath the solar panels and just having the one grass side versus trying to water and do whatever else on the other side, I don't know.
Right now we have so far the floor in the inside the gym to get replaced. I have quotes for it already. I have the asphalt work that you requested. I'm working on getting the estimate for the concrete in front of building,
Behind
building 2, and the back of building 1 as well. So I've been working on those already with her.
Great.
Yep.
Ernesto's on it.
Good job.
Doing
Good.
Thank you.
So, but yes, gym floor is definitely a priority, and then when he's talking about the asphalt, the basketball court, because we put the pickleball stuff down, but the weeds just grow up through it, so unless we cover it and seal it,
Sure.
it's gonna keep being, so, it needs it.
Getting there.
We're getting there,
Yeah.
one thing
Good
at a
stuff.
time.
Good stuff.
Thank you for taking into consideration High Desert's needs, I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Now we're up to the project update.
Yep.
You can see the presentation on number 1. Basically, we have a playground safety surface. That's a new one that we want to bring up for little owls. Students have been having a lot of wood chips getting inside their nail, and I think it's Mr. Hawkins thinks it's better to change it to something safer
Is it
for
from
students.
the
They're
ground surface?
putting their hands in there,
Yes,
playing with it.
yeah, the wood chips.
Wood chips.
The existing wood chips. So not only are your students getting, splinters or they fall, it's a little bit rougher, they're tracking it back into the classrooms. So we're looking at the possibility of other materials that might be a little bit more conducive for our little scholars,
Yep.
our little owls, and
Well,
so there's
especially,
having that discussion at this time.
Yep. So it's 4,500 square foot. I already had a company come out to give me an estimate. If we want to go with the rubber padding, it's $90,000. If we want to go with the artificial turf, it's $81,000. So it's not cheap, but it's a good investment. It's going to be there for a long time.
no, for sure, it's something.
Perhaps, just based on what was approved and allocated for the roofing projects and that differential as far as quote unquote cost savings, whatever just my preliminary thought, whatever the hardscape work comes out to be for High Desert, if there's any cushion remaining for this project, for the playground for little owls, that might be, something that we could, consider as well, instead of looking at additional cost factor. So once we have those proposals all together, as far as like the asphalt and everything else,
We'll see how
take a
much
look
money
at
there's
this.
left. Yes. So basically that's all I have. The other ones are still the remaining projects that we're still waiting. Hopefully at the beginning of the summer, we're gonna start on building 1 and building 2 and complete those 2 projects.
Are you gonna try to do all 3 of them at the same time then?
Right now, the other one's a little bit smaller project.
The
We
gym?
could probably get it done in a couple of weekends. It's not that much.
Okay.
The other 2 are just basically a longer term. Yeah.
Whenever you're gonna bring, it's not that much longer till
No.
school ends, so you might wanna just wait and do all 3 of them at the same time.
Get all 3 of them. The rainy season's over with anyways.
Ernesto,
Yes.
question, and I don't know if they've told you anything about this. As far as safety for the kids, do they recommend like the rubber versus the artificial turf? Is there any kind of recommendation on which of those would be safer
No.
for the kids?
There is no recommendation, but from them. But from me, there is a recommendation because the grass is harder to maintain, clean.
Right.
The other one, you can either hose it down or blow it. The other one is too tall. I brought some samples. So basically, that right there is the actual rubber padding that goes down there. This right here is what they use, it's gonna get really bad, it's gonna get dirty
Mhm.
with dirt,
You can get bugs in there.
yeah, bugs and
Yeah,
everything.
hard to clean, maintain.
That's what I'd rather, that would be my recommendation.
And I know
Go
it
with
seems
rubber
hard,
padding.
but they put padding underneath it, right? So it's like relatively soft.
Yeah, no,
when
there's padding
like
underneath
land
it.
on it.
Mhm.
It's very, very popular right now in the streets of Long Beach. Some of the center areas, they do have that on the sidewalks for people that like to go
Yeah.
to run and everything. They have it because it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of
LOC is using that material a lot too. I've seen it, but it's not that color. It's black.
You could pick whatever color you want, yeah. Metal Arc is black and blue.
I would
I was
try
gonna
to
say, what
stay
does
away
Metal
from,
Arc have? They have that, right?
Yeah, they have that and it's
I would try to
repairable.
stay away from black,
Oh, so you,
cause
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff gets super black.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not that much more money to be more
No.
durable and sanitary.
And sanitary is important, and very important.
Mhm.
That, I mean, will be hard to maintain
Yeah.
and sanitize, you just
As
can't.
soon as I saw that, I'm like, no, that's not
Right.
gonna work. Even though he claims that a lot of districts like this for some reason.
Mhm.
Well, it might
I'm
be,
not a
maybe
fan.
it's softer, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks softer, but it just seems like a,
Maybe for high school or something like that, but for little kids right now, it seems more.
I don't know. We have a lot of bugs out there.
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah, the wood chips are not necessarily sanitary,
No.
collect a lot.
Is there any other questions for me?
So regarding this material, so if we're landing on this material, we have the quote and proposal, then we'll just kind of put the hardscape totals together and see what we have as differential to see if we could absorb this cost as well.
Yes, I'll get at least two more quotes. But yeah, I'll.
Oh, from other vendors?
Yeah, it's
just
better
make
to have,
sure?
just be, see,
Absolutely.
maybe somebody else can do them cheaper, but yeah.
Sure. Good.
Oh, very nice. Thanks for bringing the samples.
Samples
Yeah,
are
that's
very
good.
good.
He dropped off.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Allergies?
yeah,
Time for
they
questions.
hit me hard when I got up here.
Everything's blooming.
Yeah. Thank you, Ernesto.
You're welcome.
Alright, where we at?
Future
meetings, agenda items.
So I jotted down a few just based on discussions. Bringing back some quotes from other bus vendors to see what else is out there so we can make some good comparisons since we're leaning towards, of course, the recommendation of a lease now.
Okay.
We talked about the hardscape, and bringing, additional proposals forward there for Little Owls. And then the high desert total, hardscape, costs. And then, of course, the iLead lease updates, so that we can narrow this down in the month of April.
Okay.
So I have those three for future meeting
Do
agenda.
we need to meet earlier in April for that, or are we doing it at the same time?
I think,
There's only one meeting in April.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
and we're
Yeah.
okay.
April
Yeah.
14th.
Right.
So we can meet, I wanna say 23rd is a Thursday, I think, April 23rd.
Sorry, I like April 23rd.
Yeah.
This will be the Monday.
So that Monday, yeah, prior.
So April 20th is your date.
So 4/20, based on availability, we'll just put it down as a placeholder for now, April 20th for next subcommittee. Thank you.
Anything else? Nothing else, alright, let's adjourn the meeting at 4:46.